Right, let's take a look at what is happening in the markets, and we start off with the local bourse that has rebounded into green territory today. Of course, you also saw it getting a mostly positive handover from the Asian markets. We are seeing a sea of green there. Of course, that is always welcome, with the all share surging almost 2%. We are seeing the resources 10 complex there carrying most of those gains, climbing almost 2.5%, followed by the financial 15 and the industrial 25 that are both up by 1.81%. Really great gains that we are seeing there on the JSE today. Let's go to the markets stateside, and on that front, markets are still trying to figure out the direction of interest rates at this point, looking at the path of that monetary policy over there, as Fed Chair Jerome Powell gives testimony over the next 2 days in Congress and at Senate. And on that front, also markets are still looking at the labor market for the health of the economy. We did see the ADP payrolls for February and the job openings for January. They're showing a slight loosening in the labor market. Of course, the big one that markets will also be focusing on is the non-farm payrolls that are coming out on Friday. The S&P 500 there with a gain of more than 0.4%. Tech-heavy NASDAQ up by almost a similar margin. Also out seeing an advancement in the Dow of more than 0.3%. Let's take a look at what is happening in the markets across the Atlantic. And in the UK, the Finance Minister Jeremy Hunt was giving the 2024 spring budget today, where he announced some tax cuts, of course, before a very crucial election on that front. We are seeing the FTSE 100 with a gain of more than 0.5%, the CAC 40 advancing by 0.33%, and the DAX basically flat. Let's take a look at the currency scene and start off with how the rand is doing against some of the major currencies. Quite significant strength that we are seeing there on the rand. Of course, remembering that about 2 weeks ago, the rand was at 19 rand 30 against the US dollar. Now just over 18 rand 80 against that currency. Against the pound at 23 rand 95 and against the euro at 20 rand 50. Let's take a look at what is happening with the other currency pairs. Starting off with the euro dollar at 1.08, pound dollar at 1.24, and the yen just below 150 against the US dollar.